Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of CF 2.0 Geek Out. You may notice that we are short an Andrea, but we've gained Dan. So I think that's a pretty good trade-off today. This is Dan Havey. For those of you that don't know him, you should. If you don't know Dan, you should. Yes, and you need to go and follow everything that he does and go to his YouTube channel and all those things.
And send me money.
Yeah, send him money. I didn't even have an intro prepared for you, but you know what?
Oh, man.
I need to make sure our audio is good.
I lost my PowerPoint slides, too. I don't know where they went to, so we're just going to have to wing this.
Let me just make sure really quick that audio is good, because that is usually a problem that I struggle with. So
yeah, yours tends to cut in and out all the time on Facebook, but right now what I'm hearing is good.
Yeah, I think we're good. If you guys are watching, we've got Ivy watching. Let us know if there are any problems. Okay, so what we are going to be talking about today is really just more of like, how are we preparing for 2.0? Because we are still waiting patiently for it to be in our hands before we can really dive into it and start really geeking out on it. But in the meantime, I think it's a good thing, because it's allowing us to prepare and start to think about what we need to do for what's coming up for us. And that's what Dan's here to talk about today with us, is what is he doing in his business. So if you guys don't know yet about what Dan does, he takes what ClickFunnels gives us and then makes it do more. In a nutshell, that's what you do, right?
Well, I like to say I make it infinitely extendable.
That's what you say.
Yeah,
infinitely extendable, which means what I have always, since joining, I'm wearing my design hacker stuff today. Since joining Catherine's CF Design School, that's obviously where you and I met. There's always these little things that pop up when I'm working with clients of like, oh, it would be really cool if I could make it do this, or oh, they really would like it to do this, but I can't do that with the native ClickFunnels stuff. And Dan is always the person that I go to. I'm like, okay, Dan, like, you're the wizard at all of the custom coding inside of ClickFunnels. How do we do this? But not only that, but this is what's so cool about what you do, Dan, is that you not only can make it, custom, but you make it custom using ClickFunnels, using what it gives us, where like other people, when they do custom, they like rewrite like everything and they do it so complicated, and you try to use as much of ClickFunnels as possible. So it's like minimal. You're having to write not very much code, where other people have like 80 lines, 100 lines of code. You have like 3. It's so much simpler.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
There was one site, which will not be named.
Yep.
Had, and I hate the word literally, but I'll use it anyway.
Uh-huh.
They literally had like thousands of lines of code, and I rewrote the entire thing. I think it was in 27 lines.
Yeah.
And it was because I used the native elements already built into ClickFunnels and just said, okay, take this element here and put it over here. I mean, that's all any of this is really about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more what we do than anything else. I mean, sure, you can change some CSS, you can change how things look a little bit, but basically what you're doing is you're taking something from here and putting it over here inside of something else where it doesn't belong. And I'll show you some of that here as I go through some of these sites I've been working on lately.
Awesome.
Okay. But, go ahead.
Your whole business has been based on, like, as of recently, well, for the last while, it's been heavily based on what ClickFunnels is. Like, you have created a whole program, a whole mastermind, a course on how to manipulate CF 1.0. And now that CF 2.0 is coming out, like, you have now you've like basically had to rethink like, okay, what does this mean for my business? What do I get to, what's still usable? What do I have to adjust? And so that's what Dan's going to be here talking to us about today, because I think a lot of us are kind of in that situation. Maybe not as much as
But yeah,
Dan. I think for you it's more than anybody else. But a lot of us are like, well, what does this mean for our business? What adjustments do we have to do? So I'm going to let you take over for a bit, and I'm going to step out for a second and see what my son needs, and I'll
go
be
feed your
back.
child. Yeah. Yeah, I'll start off here with, because so I did funnel hacking live virtually, and so they start talking about what all the changes are going to be, and they keep going and going. I'm watching the presentation as I'm slinking down into my chair, going, "Oh my God, I'm out of business." Because what I really thought they were going to do is the old Henry Ford thing. If I asked the people what they want, they would say they want a faster horse. They didn't know that they wanted a car. Well, I thought ClickFunnels was going to give us a faster horse. I had no idea that what they were going to do is to give us a completely new platform. So as I'm watching this, I'm like going, especially when they got to the membership site stuff, and I see that essentially what they did is they built Kajabi inside of ClickFunnels. At least that's what I think they did, because as you all know, we haven't really seen much of anything yet besides a few still shots. But so as I see that, I'm like, well, my entirety of my membership ninjas program that I just spent the last year building out is completely useless now, because people can't do it anymore. And if you could, Susan, make it so I can share my screen.
Sorry, I thought I did that. Oh, I did.
Oh,
I
oh,
did.
okay. All right. I hadn't clicked on it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but so, like I said, what I was saying, Susan, is I just felt like, oh my God, I'm out of business. And so I, immediately, watching Tony, of course, you got Tony like the next day, and I'm like, okay, I got to have my state change and all
Yeah.
that, and get out of this. And it took me a day or two. And then because my brain had to rewire itself and go, okay, here's this new thing. How does this fit into my business? How does this fit into what I want? Somebody the other day was trying to tell me, oh, well, Dan, you need to be a coach. You'd be a great coach. And I said, well, that's great, except for the fact that I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm doing something every day, I'm not going to get out of bed. I
Yeah.
mean, Russell, his great story about that. But so I very quickly said, okay, what do I got to do to revamp? And I thought, well, I've done such a great job of teaching people how to use 1.0. I better be the same guy teaching how to do 2.0. But then how can I monetize that? How can I take it to the next level? How can I turn it into a mastermind? How can I create courses out of it? And so that's what I've really been doing. And I started off with something very, very simple. And I kind of looked at, okay, what do I have? What do I need? What do I want to build? And I just built out, I mean, it's very simple little nothing here, but in the middle, you're going to see something there. It's called the Funnel Hub,
Funnel Hub.
which is what ClickFunnels is now going to be based on, is the Funnel Hub and the ability to essentially blog, to be able to put up content that is SEO, whatever term you want to
Yeah.
use.
Yeah. Like it,
To
because
be
that's
found
one
in
of
the
the,
search engines.
yeah.
You can put in your metadata, everything else, and actually will be picked up by the search engines. And so that really had to be the center of what I was doing. And then from there, it's going to branch out into whatever all the other programs are to be able to sell. So where should I start here? Because like I said, I'm just going to show people. So what I basically did is, so I looked at this and I said, okay, what are all these little boxes here? And for each one of these little boxes, I started making myself a list of what I got to do for each one in order to get ready for when 2.0 finally comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Because once 2.0 comes out, we're all going to be scrambling, going, okay, we're creating content, we're building all this stuff. So I don't want to have to be building my websites, my membership sites, any of that stuff after 2.0 comes out.
Yeah.
So that's really what I've been focusing on the last 2 weeks, is cleaning up stuff that needed to be cleaned up on old projects, and basically building out all the new stuff. So if you want to see some of the new stuff I'm building.
And so what you mean by building out the new stuff, you're just building out your own funnel and funnel hub for your business in ClickFunnels 1.0. Obviously, we don't have 2.0 yet. So that you're ready to like you're ready for the business to be coming to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm mostly ready to be selling my courses.
Yeah.
Because that's really going to be my focus going forward, is building out these courses and selling them. So the very first course I'm going to be doing is something Doug Boughton was teaching us last week about doing a five video series, essentially, which is nothing more than a sales pitch, sideways webinar, whatever you want to call it, in order to get you into a low ticket product.
Yeah.
So I might as well start with that. And let me pull up this slide here. Can you see what I got going on my screen here?
Yeah, we got membership sites 2.0.
Okay. So this was from Russell's presentation at Funnel Hacking Live. So this is their mock-up of what the membership sites are going to look like. And of course, we also have access to the membership sites right here, but I'm not 100% convinced that this is actually what the framework is going to necessarily look like. Because they could have just mocked this thing up and put it out there for us too.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be close, but we'll see. But so I looked at this and said, okay, well, this is how Russell built his out. And here's a part where here are the lessons. And he's got an image of himself and you see all the text and everything on the screen. So I said to myself, okay, so for my free product, what do I want it to look like? Well, I decided I want it to look like this. So I started building this one out last night. And it's not complete. I got a little bit more work to do on it. But here is my version of that same page. Now, this is built in ClickFunnels 1.0.
Yeah.
And this right here, you see here as I hover over it, I got to still have to fix that there. This is actually the navigation. These elements right here are the navigation inside of ClickFunnels. Now, again, I still have to finish this up here because you even see over here in the code, I'm just taking the code inside of the console and just sticking it in there.
Yeah.
So it basically, though, it's one line of code in order to take each one of these. And so think about let's just find a regular ClickFunnels site. So here you got your regular navigation, your lessons right here. Well, what you're seeing on the page, this here, that is this element right here.
Okay. That's
so
the
what
lesson.
So what I did is I took and I created a section at the bottom of the page. In fact, I can show you that here. So I created these sections at the bottom of the page, and inside of the section, I got a 2-column row. Over here on the right, I just have an icon. Over here on the left, this is actually the image feature element.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I took the image feature element, I put in an image on the left, text, stuck it in here. Then what I did with one line of code again, you take this entire section and you stick it inside of this here. Clean up the CSS a little bit and away you go. And then on top of that is something I'd done inside of my Membership Ninjas training is I did what I call a mobile first design, where you actually take the content and you insert it underneath the lesson. So I click on this lesson and I open it up and it actually puts the content right there underneath it.
Yeah.
So you click it again, it will close this up. I come down to the next one, I click on this, boom, the content will be right below it.
That's cool. So it's like the collapsing and expanding kind of
like an accordion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to think of. But because you have put it, like, what's the significance of putting it into the navigation menu? Like, what does that allow you to do that just building it as like regular elements and not in navigation? Like, what's the benefit of putting it in the navigation?
The reason you put it in the navigation is because when you click on the navigation, it knows which content to pull up. So if I were to just make this an element on the page, and then when I click on it, it opens up this content, what I would have to do is I would have to say, I'd have to have the navigation somewhere else on the page. And I would have to say, when somebody clicks on this element right here, to simulate clicking on the corresponding lesson inside of the navigation, which would then open up the content.
Got it. So that video is like, if you were to go in the back end of your membership area and you're like editing your lessons, that's where you put that video in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So each lesson will just simply have a video in it because that's all I need, because the title is above it, as
Mm-hmm.
well as whatever blurb I want to put in here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually by building it this way is much simpler than building it the other way, because all I say then in the code, in fact, I'll just show you the code. It's the simplest code in the world, in that I mean, here, what actuates this entire thing is this right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because what it says is when somebody clicks on one of the lessons, to take the content and stick it after it. So that's what this means here. Insert after
Yeah.
this. This refers to what has just been clicked on.
Cool.
So if somebody clicks on the lesson, it says grab that content element and jam it underneath here and show it onto the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen this done before, and it is cool. It's just fun to see how you can take what they are saying 2.0 could look like, what theirs is looking like, what their mock-up is looking like, and you can already accomplish it in 1.0.
Well, yeah, and
But it
and well,
takes some code.
you've seen my stuff where I built Kajabi clones. I
Yeah.
cloned ClickFunnels Funnel Flicks page. They built theirs originally in WordPress. I built mine inside of ClickFunnels, and so you can build anything you want. And I'll
Yeah.
show you a couple more things here real quick then. What else did I have open? Okay, so here's my CF Ninja hacks. So we'd already looked at this briefly. But what we did inside of here, and I did this inside of a bunch of them now. Well, actually, let me show you this one first, because this is that one here. There we go. Because here's the membership ninjas. And so we did some kind of cool things in here regarding how things open and close and stuff like that. So we open up a whole bunch of this stuff, and then we click on one, everything closes itself up.
Yeah.
So if I
like
have a bunch of other stuff open,
Searching
and
for
then,
something.
yeah, so everything slides together, closes up as we're clicking on stuff. And of course, you got your previous next built right into here. But then in this one here, well, yeah, we'll work backwards here. This one here is what I'm calling the funnel code. So this one over here, this was Membership Ninjas. This is an existing, already built out membership area. But here is what I'm calling the funnel code. And this has been something I've been wanting to do for a long time, because a lot of people are saying, okay, I want to learn CSS. I want to learn how to do the stuff that you do, but I don't want to have to pay you every time to do it. So I want you to teach me how to do it. And that's what this is going to be about in here, is teaching people the JavaScript, HTML, CSS, everything you need in order to be able to build out the stuff that I build out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I could just send you to a CSS tutorial, but I'm going to teach you and show you how to do it then inside of ClickFunnels. So here's boom, boom, boom. Let's say we're just doing box shadows. Here's how to do box shadows. Here's a whole bunch of different cool tricks you can do with box shadows. But then here's how we're going to do it inside of ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
And I'm not working on any of this yet, really, because I need to show people how to do it inside of 1.0 and inside of 2.0. And the code of 2.0 that I've seen is different. It's not huge difference, but there's enough of a difference that I really can't be shooting the videos yet,
Right.
because of how you have to select the elements.
Right.
So I built this out to house that program. That's going to probably be $1,000 program or something. I haven't decided quite yet, but so I put a couple little bells and whistles in here.
That's
We can open and close the sidebar, and we can also go then to different. This is essentially, these are sections inside of ClickFunnels. And as I click on different buttons, it'll open up different sections in the sidebar. And of course, we have previous, next. But the other thing I built in here is we have progress tracking. So I can come down there at the bottom and click on mark as complete. Now, what I don't like and haven't liked since I built this is the fact that you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I also have a mark as favorite in here. So you see then over here, it does that, stores it into a database, so that the next time the person comes in, they'll see these marked here, and they'll know which ones they favorited, which ones they already went through. So like I said, I don't like this down here at the bottom. So the other day I was rebuilding my CF Ninja hacks, and I decided, hey, why don't I just put those little icons up here at the top? And so I did that, but then I thought, well, is somebody going to know what that is? I mean, I guess if they click on it, they'll figure it out maybe. So what I did is I put, well, hang on. Let me reload the page.
It's working.
As I reload the page, because something is not working right. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hovers over it.
I built in some tooltips. And so as you hover over it, it tells you exactly what it is. So if I click on it now, it will do it. We can go to the next one and we'll click on it. And then all you got to do to turn it back off. I think it's pretty self-explanatory once I put those little tooltips in there.
Yeah.
So we have
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And then because I clearly like in doing this stuff. Oh, and before I go on, so on this one here, so here's 1.0 and then here's 2.0. And so you can click on 2.0. Obviously, there's nothing in here yet. And that's mostly going to be Wasabi OTO stuff in here. So when people come in, there might be a little bit of free content, but for the most part, they're going to click on something. It's going to send them to a sales page, or I'm going to have the sales page just probably pop up right in here. And then my intention is to sell this for $97. So this is going to be my entry level. So we're going to send people from this course over here over to this one here to buy the $97 product.
Yeah.
Which is essentially going to be the equivalent of my ClickFunnels 1.0, but for 2.0. But I want people's money, so they have to give me a measly little $97 for it.
Which is worth it. No, before you move on though, I was just going to ask, like, so you already have all of this that we see here is already ClickFunnels 1.0. It's already made. You already have so much content for that. And you're keeping it, I'm assuming, because there's going to be people that are still going to need it. Do you ever see a time when you're going to phase out 1.0 stuff, or is it just really depend on what ClickFunnels ends up doing?
It'll get phased out. It'll get phased out when ClickFunnels phases out 1.0.
Yeah.
Because at this point here, I don't see me getting rid of my 1.0 account ever. I've got over 800 funnels. And how I'm not moving that stuff. Yeah, as long as people are using 1.0, and what you see here with 1.0 membership sites, in my mind, they are far superior to anything they can build that looks like a Kajabi clone.
Yeah,
but
depending on how.
But are people going to go through that trouble? I don't know. Probably not.
Well, yeah, and I think it's what's going to essentially force people to eventually move over to 2.0 is if they do want the all-in-one solution. Because if you're using 1.0 and then you have stuff in 2.0 and then you want to take advantage of like the email automation and like the funnel, all the funnel split testing, the new flow stuff that they have and the CRM stuff, like you're going to have everything in 2.0. So I think that's going to be what ends up almost forcing people to move if they're wanting to use all those other things from ClickFunnels. If they're happy with all their third-party stuff, then I don't see why they wouldn't just stay.
But somebody can be on the $97 plan or even on the, whatever they said, the maintenance plan on 1.0 and still run their membership sites on 1.0 and do everything else in 2.0. I mean, you're right. The way they have everything integrated together is going to be super cool. But doesn't mean that you still can't be selling a 1.0 membership site out of 2.0 because it's still just a product.
Right. It just,
so it's
when
product,
you
give somebody a link to it, they go.
It's going to come down to if people want to, is it worth moving it to be able to get those extra features? Like I'm imagining like you're going to be able to tag people based on where they're at inside of your course. And like, I don't know that for sure, but based on what I have seen, there's going to be like really cool stuff that you're going to be able to do, but is it worth the effort, like to get those extra features? And sometimes it's going to,
Yeah, so I don't know if this is what you're talking about. I mean, this is a possibility. I don't know, again, if it's going to be built in. But yeah, once somebody gets through, let's say, the 5th lesson, you send them, it triggers an email or something.
Yeah.
Will that be built in? I don't know why not.
I think so, from what I've seen, Yeah,
so
that'll be interesting. But I mean, it's a lot of work to move all that stuff over, too.
It's
in membership area stuff, because it's not going to be a one-click.
It's going to be one build at a time. you know, and everybody who's on 1.0 can just stay there for a while. I mean, they don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show everybody here,
Okay.
just because I had so much fun building out this animation, I have to show it to everybody.
Is this the one that you were showing me the other day? Yeah.
Yeah. So what I wanted here was to be able to give the people a choice once they come in here to CF Ninja Hacks. So you can just go to cfninjahacks.com if you want to see this animation. I wanted them to be able to click on one or the other. So here we click on here, boom, it slides up. We got this. But I started looking at it and go, how can I do that? I want to kind of keep the spinning thing because that's what this site is known for.
Yeah.
And then I just finally dawned on me, it's like, well, wait a second here. Each one of these sides is actually a div. Now, this here was built with HTML. This cannot be native ClickFunnels elements. This was built 100% with HTML. And then I just said, okay, well, why not do this? Once it gets to a certain point, let's just have these sides come flying off. So the first iteration was just having them fly off. Well, then I added on and put in the flashing light to make it look like it was really blowing up and the whole thing. And like I said, this kind of stuff I do on Saturday and Sunday just to have fun.
You're right.
And, you know, most people wouldn't think this was fun, but it really was fun building this. And I learned a ton.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part about it. But there's that. I want to show you one other thing because so I showed you the progress tracking, and everybody always wants to know the progress tracking and how to do that. And so we figured that out in Membership Ninjas a while ago. But where was the other one? Oh, here's one here. What is the other thing that everybody always wants in Catherine's stuff?
Badges.
Okay, well,
Not
badges can be done here.
Okay. The
Badges
other
are done
thing
with the progress tracking, because that's all about saving data to a database.
Right. I'm not sure what you have happening. Oh, the fireworks. Yes. So if you want fireworks, come talk to Dan, pay him some money, and he'll get you some fireworks.
I don't know how to turn this. Hang on. We're gonna have to let it run through. It runs for like 20 seconds, so I can't turn it off. There we go. I should put a kill button in there, so you can just turn it off. But yeah, so that's like the other thing. People are like, oh, the badges, and then how do I have the fireworks and the sound go off? And so I sat down one day. I got tired of people asking me how to do it. So I sat down and I wrote the code for it. And the biggest part of the code, realistically, is, where does it come in here? Not that. Where do I put that in? Either way, it's actually a JavaScript library that you pull in.
Okay.
So you pull in this one bit of code, and that's exactly how they did on Catherine's thing too, is they pull in this one bit of code, and then down here, audio for fireworks, I don't know, one of these lines down here, I forget now. It's been a couple days since here we go, show fireworks. So you just put that in there, and it runs this function down here at the bottom, and it tells it whether you want the sound on or off. So in this case here, I turned the sound off, but so all that noise you heard are actually two different audio files playing.
Okay.
So after you click the button, you need something to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to.
And so you got to click the button, and well, even with Catherine, so you click the submit button, and that's what triggered it.
Yeah.
And so then it goes through and it just plays the horns. And so here I have it set for 2,000.
Is that how long it plays?
Well, it's 20,000 milliseconds. So if I do this now, it will only do it for 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
We'll do it here
fast then.
At least I think it should only do it for 2 seconds.
Maybe it didn't update it.
Maybe it didn't work. Well, okay. We'll just put the 0 back in there, and we'll just...
Still going. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's like all the time. You see people asking, how do you do the fireworks? Well, now we know. Dan figured it out.
And like I said, as you see here, but there's somewhere in here, I thought there was somewhere in here where I put in a file, because that should be it, but that's not it. So I'm gonna have to look at this again, figure out how I did. I wrote this a week ago, and I'm so old now I just forget everything. Uh, so that's why I write it down. That's why I shoot videos.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I've said this many times. It's like how many times I've had to go back and watch my own videos to remember how to do something, especially SMTP or something like that. So I
Right.
shoot the videos as much for myself as for anybody else.
And the more
But
you
I think,
explain it, the easier it is to understand what you even did
yeah,
to make it work.
well, and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the old thing. If you want to really learn something, teach it to somebody.
Yep.
And that has very, very much been proven out for me for the last few years, ever since I started teaching this stuff. It just gets easier every day the more you teach.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. Okay, so kind of to sum it up, CF 2.0 is coming out. You built your entire business on teaching people how to do things with ClickFunnels 1.0. And yeah, you kind of had a bit of a freak out. I was there next to Andrea right after it got announced, and you guys were chatting, and you're like, yeah. But then, yeah, I think we all kind of went through that. I went through that too, because we do stuff in my business too, where it was like dependent on 1.0, and it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? It's like, okay, it's okay. Just regroup. We're going to be fine. You're going to just be able to move and develop things and do the same thing that you're doing now, just over in 2.0, and it's all going to be fine. And if not better in some aspects. So
No, and
yeah.
I think, I mean, there's going to be a learning curve on some of the new stuff, the CRMs, the
Yeah,
cart
for
funnels,
sure.
that kind of stuff, because that's completely all brand new. But just to let everybody know, I did just go through this again, clicked on everything. I went in here, clicked on everything. Nothing has changed.
Nothing's
And,
changed.
and as far as we know, nothing has changed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And we know, like you were saying the other day, we this week is Russell Brunson's Inner Circle week. And they're probably, I mean, today's Friday, so the week's basically over anyway. They're not going to be announcing anything or doing anything during Inner Circle week. So we will just keep waiting and just hoping that this means they're making it even more ready for us to get our hands on it. Maybe they ran into some issues and they're like, oh shoot, we better fix these things before we let people start using them. Or maybe they're adding in some more things. I'm not sure. But
well,
we'll
yeah,
just,
my preference would be, I mean, don't roll it out to us if it's broken,
right.
because as beta testers, our job is to break it.
Yeah.
So don't give us broken piece of crap to begin with.
Right.
So get it working right. Give it to us, because once you put 5,000 people onto it, it will break.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just taking the time to think of everything I possibly can that I can do to get ahead of the curve, and just keeping myself busy doing that.
Yeah, there's definitely things we can do to prepare. I mean, for me, I'm figuring out like I'd be doing this whether there was 2.0 or not, but going back to my roots of like, who is that I'm actually serving? Because I actually went through this period where once 2.0 was announced, I was like, oh shoot, like there's so much opportunity that's going to be there. I'm going to have to like basically be doing two offers, the thing that I'm like wanting to focus on, like my coaching program. And I also want to take advantage of like people moving over to 2.0. So I was like, I'm going to be having like two offers out there and two messages. And this week I've actually, through a lot of working through what I'm doing and thinking about it, I realized like, no, I don't have to be speaking to two different people. It can be my same people, but I'm just providing for maybe two different needs that they have, or it's, 2.0 is solving a need for them, or the original need that I'm trying to solve anyway. So like for me, it brought clarity of like, I don't have to be splitting my focus with the two different things. I can merge them together. So if we had already been like deep into doing 2.0 stuff, I may have not had that time to reflect on that and focus in on like, no, that's not how it has to be. So I'm grateful for the time for us to be preparing.
Yeah.
And I still have to get like my my funnel updated. It's so outdated right now with things that are not even accurate anymore. So definitely take advantage of the time to be preparing yourself and your clients. And if you guys haven't watched the last two episodes that we did, those were also both on preparing. One of them was preparing your helping helping your clients to prepare. And then the last week was helping like how you yourself can be preparing. And then obviously today Dan dove into what he's been doing. So, I
Just
think
keeping
that's
myself
it.
busy.
Keep them busy, keep things
That's
moving.
right.
And yeah, because we don't even know what the timeline is looking like right now. So definitely what I've learned is don't delay anything either. If you can move forward with something, move forward with something, because we don't know what the timeline's going to look like.
Well, yeah, and if you got to bring somebody into 1.0 for now,
Yeah.
I mean, 1.0 is just fine.
Yeah.
Build the site for them now, and when 2.0 comes out, if they want to flip over, you do it for them for cheap.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
already built it once, and I'm pretty sure the editor is going to be very similar. So the learning curve on the editor should be pretty short. So if you
Right.
built it in 1.0, you can rebuild that thing in an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an opportunity to just provide another service for your client and another. Yeah. I agree.
And one more
100%.
thing I will say is do not be surprised that once this thing really gets rolled out for reals, middle of next year, end of next year, there are going to be tens of thousands of people coming back to ClickFunnels.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of people who left ClickFunnels for whatever reasons, and they're on Go High Level or Drop Funnels or something else, and they're going to be coming back.
I don't
And so
doubt it.
just be prepared for that to be able to help those people. And of course, do what you can to get their affiliate commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't heard anything about the affiliate program, but I can't imagine they're doing away with it. So
Yeah.
think in those terms too, is how can you help these people? What can you create for them? What can you set up so that when they're ready to come back to 2.0, you're there to help them out and they can sign up under your account.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But about the affiliate program, I actually want to get your take on this real quick, Dan, before we end. Since 1.0 and 2.0 are totally different platforms and they're totally different accounts with totally different billing systems, people that are using 1.0 and going to move over to 2.0, do you feel like do you think the affiliate program is going to be totally brand new and reset for 2.0 specifically?
Yeah.
Like, anyone that we have as an affiliate under 1.0 right now, they're kind of like fair game for 2.0. Not
I
fair
would probably
game, but
say,
like it's going to be
yeah,
like they're going to be brand new affiliates into 2.0,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I doubt if they're going to transfer them over.
Yeah.
So, John Doe is is your affiliate right now. John Doe sees 2.0 come out. He goes over, clicks on the button, signs up. You're not getting him as an affiliate.
Yeah. So that's
So if
another
you have
thing.
some existing people, start talking to them,
Mm,
working with them, going, hey, I set up this program for 2.0. Come on over, learn what I'm teaching, click the link, sign up.
yeah.
Or the other thing is, I was going to say share funnels, but I don't think they're actually going to have share funnels the same way they did
It's going
before.
to be a little bit different, huh?
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if they still had some sort of mechanism like that where you could just give them, because what were they call them? Workspaces or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you can give somebody like the entirety of everything, the products, the cart, the everything built,
Yeah.
you can give that to them.
Yeah.
So if you're working with a lot of people, are e-commerce, you build out the entire workspace for a cart funnel, and then you can just hand the whole thing to them, which again is a great enticement. And somebody gets that, they don't care who gets their affiliate commission.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they'll just click on it and sign up.
Yeah. Yeah, that brings up so many good points. Like right now, should definitely be like contacting, staying in touch, reigniting connections that you had with your affiliates that you have, because if you have like kind of dropped off the radar for them, like they no longer follow you, like they're probably gonna end up signing up through somebody else. But also all of these beta periods that 2.0 has to go through, is going to allow us time to get in there and build stuff that we can use. So when it is actually launched and open for anyone to be coming in, you actually have assets that you can be giving to people as an incentive for them to come in with you, through you. So all of this is definitely time to be taking advantage of, for sure. Great points.
Well, and hopefully they said we're all gonna, as the private beta testers, we're all gonna get like 5 tickets to invite people. So I'm hoping that when they sign up through that ticket, as I'm going to call it, hopefully when they sign up through that, it will automatically become our affiliate.
I was thinking that too, like, because they're going to have to
That'd be
give us
nice. I
all
hope so.
unique invitation links anyway, so they can limit how many we're each bringing in. So they
Yeah.
might as well just make that,
Yeah, because
affiliate
otherwise you
stuff.
just drop a link in. You drop a link in your group, and you get 1,000 people sign up.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that's not.
So, yeah. So I mean, I think that that's probably the way that they would go. So that assuming that that is what they do, then that's an automatic five affiliates that we all are going to get
Yeah,
if we're in private
yeah, and
beta.
then again, we have no idea what the pricing is going to be. I heard $97, but what does $97 include? Don't know.
Yeah,
Does
we
it
don't know
is
for
that
sure,
just
huh?
one domain? Is it just one workspace, or is it unlimited domains? Now I've been told it's unlimited domains, but again,
We don't have
nobody
those
knows.
details.
Yeah, you'll know sometime.
We will know probably come January.
Yeah, maybe not till then. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to double check. I think we had a few people coming in and out, but no questions or anything. So we will sign off and be back next week. Dan, thanks for joining me today. So it wasn't just me talking to them by myself without Andrea and sharing what you've been up to. I think it's awesome. And tell everybody again where they should go if they want to check out what you have, and also your YouTube channel, because you put so much stuff out on YouTube too.
YouTube is simple. Just go to YouTube and type in my name. You'll find my channel. So it's Dan Havey, Havey. You can also go to cfninjahacks.com if you want to see the cool little spinny thing. That'll just take you right to a sign up page. And then realistically, the best way to get a hold of me is just send me a PM.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
I mean, I communicate more there than anywhere else.
Yeah. And Dan is in this group. He is, one of the geek out. I don't even know what to call everybody,
How
but
about just geeks?
he's part of the geeks here. He's
Dorks.
always giving
Dorks. I
value in
like
this
dorks.
group and sharing stuff, so you can find
Yeah,
him
just
in
tag
here
me
too.
if you put a comment in the group, and just tag me in it too.
Cool. Awesome.
You'll find me.
All right, everybody. We'll see. Oh, wait. No, we do have a question from 18.
Oh
Why
no.
didn't I see that on my phone? Ivy asked a question 18 minutes ago. Do you
Okay.
think the subscription price will stay the same? We just kind of talked about that. So, yeah, we really don't know. They said $97, but we don't know what all that includes.
Yeah, I think Russell even said that on the stage, and I had somebody internal to ClickFunnels give me that number. But again, we don't know what $97
We don't know.
covers.
Yeah, we don't know what that includes.
Right.
But that's like the base price. And then just in case you're asking about 1.0 Ivy, I don't know if, just in case anyone doesn't know this, once 2.0 is out, they are going to have a kind of maintenance mode on 1.0 that you can put your account on maintenance mode for a lesser price than what you're paying now for it. But we think, I don't know if you know this for sure, if anyone knows this for sure, but we're assuming that that means like you're not going to be able to build anything new in 1.0. It's just whatever you have in there will continue to run and you can send traffic to it.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it.
Yeah.
Is any funnels you have in there will continue to work just fine. You just won't be able to add. I don't think you can add any new pages. I think you can
Yeah.
fix stuff. I don't think you can add any
Yeah.
funnels. Maybe you can add pages to your existing funnels, but again,
We don't know.
we'll find out over the next couple of months.
We will find out. Okay, awesome. We will sign off and be back next Friday, maybe with 2.0, but probably not. So we'll talk about more stuff next week
Don't
about
hold
preparing.
your-
All right. Bye, everybody.